What it, what it do? It's your boy ELOOO. I'm in this bed with a brand new setup. Shout out to the wife and kids. It looks beautiful. I got my Miami Heat right there. I got my Tampa Bay right there. I got my University of Miami right there. I got my dad flicks with my family, what we do this stuff for. And as I told y'all on the Father's Day edition, y'all gonna get this mother-loving Versace robe. I know y'all probably say, man, that's not the real Versace. I told y'all that from day one. What I told you was I got my next Friday edition of Versace. He said, you can't even spell Versace. He said, yeah, F-O-Sace. That's what I got on today. What it do, y'all, man? We out here sipping some coffee today. I don't know if the lights done dimmed it out too much, but that blue light y'all see on top of me, that is my cup of coffee. Once again, shout out to the wifey. The setup is beautiful. This was a surprise for me. New mics, headphones. We in the building, man. We ain't stopping. We only going. And on today's edition of Sip This Coffee, we're gonna kick back and we're gonna relax, man. We're gonna have a nice little conversation about a couple different topics, man. They all headlines in the world right now. What's going on in the popping news, as what they would say is hot news, but I'm gonna call it what's going on in the popping news, man. What the world talking about, what we need to be addressing, putting our 2 cents on Sip This Coffee with your boy ELOOO. Y'all know how I go. I go in deep into stuff. Like I told y'all, most of the time I don't like speaking on topics until I've read the full details on it, till I've understood what's really going on and how it's going on. I don't like to do the hypotheticals and all that type of stuff there. But we do. We do still put our opinions on stuff, but we try to do it to be a very calculated and educational opinion. So with that being said, we're gonna start today's segment off man, the whole world got broken some sad news the other day, especially if you're a football fan. If you grew up a football fan, you around my age group, this probably impacted you a little bit more, because not only are we in our 30s now and we are raising families, not only are we out here trying to survive and live through things, but when you take your childhood heroes, guys that you've seen as invincible, guys you've seen as almost superheroic, it's kind of crazy to see what's going on with Chris Johnson. Um, First off, peace and blessings to Chris Johnson, his family, his kids, his moms, his wife, everybody that's immediately impacted by him going down, because we speak on Sip This Coffee a lot about the men in the families, the men's roles in life. So you take a man that was being an upstanding citizen, an upstanding father, upstanding husband, son, all of that good stuff, and he comes down with a situation, a disease like ALS. I have done a little homework on it. When I first heard it, the first thing that came to my mind was my cousin Shonda, Toinetta Hall. May she continue to rest in peace. May her son continue to find peace and be able to thrive in this world, because like situations like this, you can't predict them. My cousin Shonda, she ended up with autoimmune disease called lupus. And shout out to everybody who's out there battling with lupus or any type of autoimmune disease, because to see someone go from a healthy state, from a vibrant, healthy state, to just this form of themselves that's not what you're used to seeing, is a lot. It takes a toll on your mental, your emotions, and it all. And me and my family has definitely lived this several times, not through the autoimmune, just seeing someone go through the state of what was to what is now. And that's what Chris Johnson and his family is experiencing right now. ALS is a disease that attacks your, I don't want to give y'all like the wrong information. I have read up on it. So if I say a couple words that's not aligned with it, understand that I'm trying to deliver the best way that I can. But as far as I understand of it is, it's like a nervous situation, your nervous system, and you lose the function of your muscles, the movement, all of that good stuff. So that's why on the interview, if you guys seen the interview with Chris Johnson, what you saw was him talking through a device that was created by a doctor who's worked with another celebrity who had dealt with ALS. Um, it's not a good disease as far as when you talk about longevity in living. It's not a good disease when you think about him having a 7-year-old daughter, and the expectancy rate of this disease isn't long at all. The doctors, he said that the doctors told him to get his affairs together. When you get a certain age and you start handling a business and you start losing people and stuff, you understand exactly what that means. So that's them some tough words to hear. Get your affairs together. For anybody at any point in time in life, even if your grandmother is 80 something years old, what we just experienced in my family, it still takes a toll on you, regardless of how you see it, especially when you used to someone from a state of well-being and doing to a state of can't do anything for themselves, need help, all of that good stuff, man. So uh, I wanted to start this episode off today just, you know, first off, just sending love and blessings to CJ's family and to anyone who's dealing with this stuff, because a lot of times we see the celebrities going through things and we forget about the everyday people. It's a everyday person somewhere around here that probably just got a diagnosis of a disease or something that, they don't have the means or the funds to end up with a device where they can talk to their family, like how Chris Johnson was. So it was dope to see him being able to do that. But I just want to send a little prayer and a little blessings to the families that can't afford to do stuff like that there, and they're trying to find a way out of these situations because, brother, this stuff takes a toll on you, man. And I just remember growing up, when CJ took over. First off, CJ, Chris Johnson, I like to connect Fort Pierce to a lot of stuff. So Chris Johnson went to school at Eastern Carolina University, that's ECU, which I'm gonna be paying attention to a lot this year. We had some transfers from the University of Miami go over there. Quarterback Emory Williams, a guy who I done rooted for since we got him on campus. And my boy Ray Josephs is over there. So I will be watching ECU this year. But what's dope between ECU and Chris Johnson and Fort Pierce Westwood is um, the year that Chris Johnson was a freshman on Eastern Carolina's team, we had two players from our area. I definitely can't call them kids because they older than me, and I always looked up to both of them. ELOOO Jean and Tommy Bradley was on that team with Chris Johnson at ECU his freshman year. And what's very dope about that is Chris Johnson went on to become a Hall of Fame running back. And that freshman year, the kid from Fort Pierce, and I'm only calling him a kid because at that point in time he was a kid. ELOOO Jean was freshman of the year over Chris Johnson and a lot of guys. They had a lot of talent that went to the NFL and stuff eventually. So that's pretty dope to know. That's just like some history that I like to throw in on there just to connect our little city to the major episodes that go on. So shout out to ELOOO Jean and Tommy Bradley for one. For two, shout out to ECU for coming down here and picking them guys up, taking them to a spot to be around somebody like a Chris Johnson who ended up becoming a Hall of Famer. Well, they say you can't teach speed. And if we talking about all three of them guys on the same line, man, I would love to see that race at freshman year. And that's all I'm going to say. I would love to see that race freshman year at ECU. So in Fort Pierce, we've been kind of tuned in to Chris Johnson for a while because we've been following E-Road and Tommy and them for the whole time that when they left and went up there. So yeah, man, just major love to CJ. That's a sad story, man. Sad situation. Hey, shout out to Michael Strahan for doing the interview on a national platform. What it was, Good Morning America. I'm almost sure he's on. Great interview, greatness. I've seen the backlash. I've seen the hot takes that they do. This is what I done learned about and it's journalism. Shout out to the people who left comments on my last couple. I had a guy leave a comment on a clip that I put up on YouTube, and I was talking about Malachi Tony, and I said he has properly exposed himself. And the dude was like, "This is why I can't do these journalists, and journalism isn't the same. These people don't know what they're talking about." But he when he said it, I had to go straight to Webster to make sure that I used the word expose properly. And I did. So, on this internet, you got people that's going to leave comments. You got people that's going to chime in on situations. And most of the time, they probably going through something at that moment, done picked their phone up, started scrolling, came across you, looked at you, and got mad. And left a comment to make you mad. So I'm learning how to deal with that stuff and everything. And same thing that with Michael Strahan. I seen some people trying to put extra 10 on it and say that, oh, he should have asked, was ALS connected to football? I like I said, at first I thought it was an autoimmune disease, and then I found out that it wasn't. It's dealing with like nerves and things of that such. So it could be. But we got to let the homework get done first. How are you gonna try to put the pressure on Michael Strahan to ask Chris Johnson this as if Chris Johnson even studied this anytime before he was dealing with it? Or Michael Strahan has studied this anytime before interviewing Chris Johnson. Yeah, like the internet, I understand we got it, and it goes back to what I said a couple episodes ago. We are on the internet with everyone. When I say everyone, I mean the people who had IEPs, the people who had gifted classes, the people who had ESC classes, the people who didn't even do work in class. My lover ain't never did multiplication nor division in class. They was doing coloring books. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't knocking them. I'm just letting you know that everybody's comments shouldn't be taken whole. Everybody's comments and everybody's opinions, everybody's thoughts and everything shouldn't. First off, okay, outside of half of these motherfuckers being slow as all outdoors, you can take it how you want to. The other thing is everybody not raised the same. What goes on South Florida living doesn't go on anywhere else in the world, Craig. You hear me? We different. Florida's its own world. So I don't even like people from up north. They go to giving me, or especially west, over there, California way. They go to giving me. They take some stuff. I always tell them, man, yeah, raised totally different, bro. The things that go on. Okay, here, on a small scale. Let's go on a small scale. Just driving here in Florida. Majority of the teenagers at 15 years old, since we was kids, 15 years old, you trying to get your restricts. 16, you get your license and you trying to be on the road driving by yourself. Up north, they got trains, they got buses, they got things that substitute you having to do for you on the road. So most of the time when I meet people from up north and they come down here, they not driving, bro. Yeah, it's just that's on a small scale of the difference between down south and up north. I remember going to New York one time and at down south we rock our grills and stuff. And I go to New York, I got my grills and stuff, everything, and ain't cheesing on they wrong. No, you know what I'm saying? Real South Florida, baby. And just the response to it. Heck, I remember being in Baltimore, my boy TK and Kaylin and all them, and we was in the bathroom. The dude was like, "God, dog, how much you spent on your mouth?" My boy Kaylin like, "Hey, what you trying to do? Trying to rob something?" South Florida thoughts. Why you pricing my mouth? But up north, they don't wear these. They're not used to seeing this. Down south, we used to seeing this 24/7. Everybody got grills. And man, my aunties, grandmas, I grew up with all of them having at least one gold tooth in the front. All my cousins started getting tips at the bottom, not the full grill. They got the tips on the top. Man, real South Florida, but it's just different. So when we on this internet and people leaving comments and all that, man, what you call it, location and all that stuff actually matters how I respond. Um, yeah, and then most of the time, if they commenting with hostility, I know to just leave that alone because I know I can get hostile real fast, and that's why I prefer to have live conversations, face to face, all of that stuff there, because people would take a clip of what you said and run with it and try to be downright mad at you. And I'm a person that always advocate for the celebrities. The same thing. I always say the same thing in the barbershop. If you had a camera following you around 24/7 catching everything that you said, everything that you do. You always got a fan or somebody standing around with a camera recording everything that you say or do. I promise you, you would be on the council list too. And with that being said, who cares about the council list, man? Rock on, find what you like to do, talk about what you want to talk about, how I like to do for you. Cause get what? We all on this earth for a period of time. We all gotta go one day. And my lover, you better do what you can do for you this whole time, man. Hey, with that being said, let's go to another case with a football athlete that I've been studying. I've been studying this one here because the report says he's finna get a life sentence. He going to prison for life. He ain't gonna be able to do nothing. He over with, bruh. He done messed all the way up. So I get to reading the case and everything, which from the beginning I had done read a couple pieces that I was like, there's no way they can charge him with armed robbery. I mean, they can charge you with anything. They can charge you with anything at any point in time. The thing is, you have to be convicted of it for it to actually stick. So they can charge you with anything at any time in life. Can they convict you of these charges? Is the whole goal in the whole process of a court date. So a court proceeding, that's what we're gonna say. That's the whole thing of a court proceeding. Can they convict you of this stuff? And reading and looking up the whole Tyron Arnold situation, the defensive back from the Detroit Lions, who is currently being charged with kidnapping, armed robbery, that alone, I'm leaving that right there. I think it was 8 charges or something he ended up with, but it all stemmed from one situation in which he was kind of responding to a situation that happened to him. I do understand they saying that he definitely, that the people that was kidnapped or whatever was the wrong people. The police exonerated the people that Tyron Arnold thought robbed him. And those are the people who was kidnapped and robbed it back. But the story in the beginning was that Tyron Arnold uh, paid some women to lure these guys into a hotel room. He FaceTimed them from his phone, and he pulled up on the scene, went into the actual scene on into where the people was kidnapped, called the shots on beating them, and all this gangster mob style mentality charges. This is what he was charged with. And so I went to digging and doing my homework and realized that 2 of his co-defendants are already sentenced on this exact case. Tyron Arnold was arrested months after this incident even occurred. 2 of the co-defendants took plea deals to implicate Tyron Arnold into this case. After they had then implicated another suspect, the same other suspect that they implicated, they originally said this guy was the mastermind, the head guy that sent them to handle this situation. After receiving a plea deal for X amount of years that's under 5, then Tyron Arnold names came up. Then the lawyer proceeded to go into the court date. 2 days ago, Detroit did release him after this, which is one of the craziest moves I've seen Detroit do. And because Tyron Arnold isn't the first player for the Detroit Lions to get into a situation of such. They just had a player that was completely abusing his wife. Okay, we ain't gonna go tit for tat, case to case, none of that there. But we're gonna just tell you, we all know how the NFL play games. And to release Tyron Arnold after he made bond, they gave him bond to go to practice. They gave him bond to return to camp. And to release him after that, yeah, I don't know what a business mind on that at. But if you're a person like Tyron Arnold, you within the storm right now, young man. You in the storm right now. And I just told a guy this at the shop the other day. He had all these questions about what he should do with child support. He got a court case going on. His baby mama got child support on. She done got married, got a new kid. Like I told him, bro, you in the middle of the storm right now. What you got to continue to do is put one foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. Keep taking those steps in the middle of this storm, because at one point you will make it to dry land. You coming out of that ocean, bro. You in the deep end right now of the ocean, and you got to find your way back to dry land, up to the shore. That's all to it. And a lot of men need to understand this here. And so it's periods of life where we go through the go-throughs. And I say that here on Sip This Coffee a lot. You're gonna go through the go-throughs whether you want to or not in life. So therefore, you just got to find out what it is that you got to go through. And sometimes it's uneven. Sometimes it's unfair. Sometimes it is. But as a man, you must continue to put one foot in front of the other until you can find your way to. Because there's been a lot of men that's been accused of things. There's been a lot of men that has went through things that they probably never really seen an ending to. But it was a light at the end of the tunnel. You just had to continue to do what? Put one step in front of the other one so that you can make it to the end of the tunnel. And that is what happens when we're going through stuff. You just feel like the world is just piling down on you. Your shoulders is just filled. Your heart is full. Your head is about to explode. You thinking so much. You're doing so much. You're being expected of so much, required to do so much. That's a normal feeling as a man. That's when we got to breathe, man. Stay back, take your 10 breaths. What they say? Chest out, chin up. Big dog. These ain't just terms that you use when you trying to make a rap song or something. These ain't just terms that you use when you trying to seem big and boisterous. No, these are terms that you use when you in the middle of that darkness for real. You really need to be in the mirror with this thing, beating on your chest like King Kong with it. And that's what Tyrant Arnold is right now. We in a situation where we're gonna make sure all these ducks line up. What he say? Put them in a row. Yeah. So Tyron, while you working on this and your lawyer in there stepping all over the case like this here, you know, I'm gonna start doing more court cases speaking on them because I really be into the middle of these stuff a lot, bro. And I don't be just, man, I got people that come to the shop. Man, hey, let's put it like this here. You know how many people walking free? And I ain't gonna say just because of me. What I'm gonna say is because of me and my study and me and my guidance. I'm led, my steps is led, my thoughts is led. You feel me? So I do studying and I'm able to help out because the knowledge is the knowledge of the court cases. Are you from Florida? I'm from Florida. I've been in trouble in Florida. So a lot of these statutes and a lot of these things that these young fellas go through, I am able to help them out. I am able to give them advice. I don't give them legal advice as if I am a lawyer or something. No, I give them legal advice through experience, through wisdom, and through research. Because we live in a time of information that's available for all of us at any point in time, bro. My take on the Tyrant Arnold situation is at first I was saying he'll end up with 10 or less. They're going to have to switch them charges to conspiracy. That's what I was saying when I found out about the Telegram text messages. When I found out, when they said that he was on FaceTime and went inside of the building and everything, I think this is conspiracy. You set it all in play, you know. And a lot of people don't even know how powerful a charge of conspiracy is. You're going fed. You can end up federal off of conspiracy to do anything. You the mastermind, basically. You're more wrong than the person who actually committed the act. You sent them to do it without your words and yeah. So I thought he was going to get hit with conspiracy. Catch about 10 years up that road. Then I went to reading the case and I realized, man, that man wasn't even, the FaceTime wasn't even from his cell phone. They don't really have any concrete proof of him being involved with this except for the two co-defendants that's already taken a plea deal. And let me tell you a story one time. Like I told you, we live this stuff around here in Florida. I know a guy. I'm good friends with the guy. Actually, I ain't spoke to him in a while because but at the same time, good friends with the guy. I still wish him well. I watched this guy walk out of court on a home invasion charge. Co-defendant came to court, testified and told everything that could possibly be told about this situation. Put the gun in his hand, put the mask on his face, what time it got put on his face, what time the car arrived. I mean, told everything when the state was interviewing him while he was on the stand. It was the defense's turn to cross-examine. And the guy who I know's lawyer went up and he started off just like this. I got 2 questions for you. First question, why are you here today? The witness proceeded to say, the co-defendant witness, person that wasn't supposed to be up there. The co-defendant witness ended up saying, the state prosecutor that's sitting over there, he told me, if I don't show up, I get 40 years. If I do show up, I get 4 years. The defense attorney didn't even have to ask the second question. Why? That alone exonerated his whole statement. Everything that was said by him, he's here through bribery. He's here through, basically, there's a present waiting for him for showing up here today. His testimony can't be accepted into the records. Hold on. Pull it out the Bernie Mac. His testimony can't be accepted into the records. Not into these records in this court date, man, because this man here for a reason, man. He has an incentive on why he's testifying today. You got an incentive on why you testifying besides seeking justice? Brother, your testimony going out the window. Because guess what? That's the first time I seen somebody walk out of court, brother, from a trial. And not just no trial where he facing 30 days in jail, 60 days in jail, 90 days in jails with a fine or something. No. That man was facing 60 to 90 years in prison. Yeah. And he walked out with them jail shower slides on with the suit that his people done brung up there to the courtroom for him. Hey, get what? Hey, and when I met him to the outside of the courtroom, I said, "What's up? You need a ride to the jail to pick your stuff up?" He said they can have everything that's in there. My boy ain't even go back to the jail to pick his stuff up that he had been sitting there for over a year on fighting these charges. You hear me? He said y'all can have all of that down there at the county. What I'm telling y'all is there's stages and phases to a court case. And the way that the internet and all these YouTubers and social media head guys, streamers and stuff just jumped on Tyrant Arnold and just went to going the opposite way on him, I knew, first off, he wasn't a crash dummy. And a lot of people are like, oh, Nick Saban got him the bond. Nick Saban wrote on a character resume for him to the judge to help them get the bond. I speak on that on here about what Coach Caffey did for me. He wrote me a character resume to my judge to get me free. Coach Caffey, coach at Jensen Beach High School, shout out to him forever, man. Him and his family, may peace be upon them, man. Every time I think about him, every time I see him, this year was such a great feeling. I'm kind of switching stories real quick, but I'll go back to Arnold in a second. My first year coaching high school football, and I was a head coach for JV. I made it to, we had to play Jensen Beach in Jensen Beach. I met Coach Caffey on the 50-yard line, and I gave him a handshake and a hug. And that's probably one of the most meaningful handshakes and hugs in my life, because at that moment I was a head coach. And he was my head coach that helped me get free to be out here to raise my son, to be out here to be a family man, to be out here to be on this podcast with y'all. So shout out Coach Caffey and his whole family, man. May peace be upon them every single time. But yeah, back to the Arnold situation. I think he might shake this whole thing. There's my take. I think there's my opinion on this case. I think he might end up getting charges dismissed, bro. Not even broken down to lesser charges dismissed. They do it. We in Florida. Florida mess up a lot. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But it's just like I told y'all on the episode before the Father's Day edition. I said, well, I was incarcerated. I seen people who didn't know the law that shouldn't even must been in there at all, nowhere near trouble, getting sent to prison for X amount of years. Then I seen guys who been in trouble since we was young, who know the law, them the ones who was going home, and they was in the wrong. Like, they can tell you, I did that. But they slipped up on the way that they arrested me. They slipped up on how they processed the evidence into the evidence room. They slipped up on XYZ. And they understand how to go through there and read through the statutes, read through the whole paperwork and everything, and find that little piece of evidence that'll get them freed. And most people who's never been in trouble, like I try to tell these young men, y'all out here trying to live a world and into a lifestyle that you're gonna crash out in no matter what, because you have to go through the go-throughs to understand what you're going through. Yeah, man. Tyron Arnold. Hey, shout out to Tyron Matthew, though. That boy's a legend. The Honey Badger. All right, man. We've been rocking and rolling, but I got one more spot that I want to touch on before we go, man. I think this episode been rolling smooth because those are some topics I really want to speak on, and we've just been, knocking it down. But the mainstream media has dropped the ball on Black fathers. I said excuse me. Ooh, that thing came up out of that's that coffee coming up out of there, boy. But I say, the mainstream media has dropped the ball on Black fathers in their role that they're taking with these athletes. We like to mainstream highlight when athletes gain a bunch of money and lose it. We like the mainstream athletes like a Tyron Arnold. Before they're even really convicted of anything, we've already convicted them and pushed them to the side out of society. Yeah, but when somebody's doing good with their kids and their sons, no one puts attention on it. Let's go back to the New York Knicks winning the championship, and not one segment, not one time, the Knicks was sweeping teams, bruh. They were sweeping teams in the playoffs. Top teams in the NBA. Jalen Brunson got MVP of the freaking finals. And you telling me y'all ain't do this whole 30 for 30 special on Jalen Brunson and his daddy? I go and watch the golf thing, the golf tournament, the PGA Tour. When that come on, bro, they do a whole hour-long segment of all the fathers in the golf tournament that sons is not playing. They do a whole segment on it. But you telling me Jalen Brunson daddy don't get no attention on this here? You telling me what LeBron just did with? Hold on, let's go to it. Let's go to it. Cause LeBron on the market now. LeBron is giving Bronny his wings to fly on his own. Bronny just completed his guaranteed part of his contract and got his own bread. Now Bron say, look, my son here. I can depart now. They don't like that. You got people out here hating on that. You got the LeBrons, man. Hey, look, this is something I wrote down. They say, every young man hits a moment where the safety net gets cut. Whether it's starting a business, moving to a new city, or stepping into a new field, you eventually have to stand on your own 2 feet. What Ross say? On your own feet, gotta cook your own beef. Okay, yeah, we here. Stepping into a new field, you eventually have to stand on your own 2 feet. How do you handle the pressure when the person who helped you get in the door is no longer standing next to you? The LaMelo Balls, the Ball brothers. Look, let's talk about the Style brothers that just entered the NFL together. It should have been a full special on that man getting both of his sons into the NFL draft the same year. Come on, bro. We ain't getting no. They only highlight the bad in the I'm talking mainstream media right now. I ain't talking about y'all. Y'all might do know these stories. And most of y'all don't know these stories because I bring it up to people and they don't be knowing what the hell I'm talking about. The Style brothers. You got what my man named Caleb Downs, his daddy, done Core Horston directed this thing from the start. Man, dude, we can go down a list of these new age athletes who daddies, 2-parent homes, walking their kids straight into success and dropping them off into success. Yes, man. We got to do better with the mainstream media, man. The mainstream media, they only want to highlight the darkness in these black communities, man, but we got to be able to bring it. At one point in time, Maria Taylor, the reporter for ESPN, she was highlighting all that stuff there. She done hit a new level. That's my girl. I never knocked Maria, but she used to highlight these type of stories. But she hit a new realm at ESPN where they probably ain't giving her them roles no more. And she can't do her freelancing the way that she used to and actually put the time in. But I'm freelancing. I'm here, so I'm going to speak on it. And just thinking about LeBron, bro, leaving Bronny over there at the Lakers, bro, I got a son. I got a daughter. And if I could do anything on earth, I would love to do that right there. Walk them into the field that they're going to be into, make money with them, and plays with them. Show them the ropes from the first day to the day that I decide I'm leaving. And then when I leave, you can stay here. They're not gonna do you like Giannis' brother, okay? You only had a contract because your brother was here. And then when your brother leave, I'm just gonna cut you and send you on your way. No. See, people like to knock Bronny James and say that he was this and he was that. And my man was in the G League dropping 30, 40 points, 20 points, 10 assists, come up, drop him a 15 ball in the NBA. He done dropped 20 points in the NBA on the court. His daddy didn't take them shots for him. I think he's capable of playing. Is he a rookie that was on a Cooper Flag level? No. How many rookies came into the NBA last year that numbers and statistic numbers looks exactly like Bronny James or worse? You do the math on this. How many rookies came in the class with Bronny James who statistical numbers look identical to his or worse? And I guarantee you, he ain't the worst rookie that came into the NBA. He ain't in the bottom 20 that came into the NBA this rookie year. You got some rookies that ain't even step on the court this year, bro. This young man has had multiple 20-point games in the NBA. So I ain't saying, he the next Michael Jordan. I ain't saying he's going to be in the league for 10 years. What I'm saying is he can hold his own. He can do his thing for the next 5, though. I bet you that. He already got one down. He just made it to his guarantee. He got 2 more, I think it's 2 more years on his contract or something like that. So, yeah. I think it needs to be more attention on the main screen on what these black fathers is doing out here, man, because we can name them for days on the fathers that's out here actually walking their kid. One thing that I didn't like, at the moment that the mainstream media was making such a big deal about Dwayne Wade and his youngest son, there was no attention on what was going on with his oldest son. Right now, they got his oldest son in the media about a domestic violence situation, as if we ain't made it to the other end of all of these domestic violence situations. I'm not saying some dudes don't beat on their woman, and them dudes do need to be prosecuted and put away. But we do now know that we're in the world of the internet girls. And the internet girls go and find them a celebrity dude and find a way to get that money up out of the celebrity dude. So therefore, it'd be a lot of domestic violence stuff until we get the pictures of the abuse, until we find out of a real abuse. Hell, they almost just did Geno Smith in dirty the other day. The girl was literally on live yelling all of this stuff about him not taking care of his kid and all of this stuff. We are in the era of the internet girls who want that internet money. So I don't even care. They didn't even must came out no more about nothing else with Dwayne Wade's oldest son about it. What they were supposed to be highlighting in the moment that they wanted to talk about Dwayne Wade's youngest son was the fact that Dwayne Wade is partial owner of one of the G League teams in the NBA. And on that team, they drafted his son, his oldest son, his firstborn. They drafted him, and he's been playing for Dwayne Wade's team for at least 2 years now, if I'm not mistaken. At least 2 years now, and I don't even think they even mention this stuff. That Dwayne Wade partially owns a G League team, and his son was drafted by that team and has been playing for them for the last 2 years. You didn't hear nothing about Zaire Wade until this man just got arrested the other day, which is total bull crap, and that's why I'm sitting here talking about this right now. But you want to tell me about his little brother that want to be his little sister. We don't know Dwayne Wade from fashion and from all these other lifestyles. We know Dwayne Wade for putting down for the god doggone heat, boy. Wade County. But y'all want me to, yeah. That's another conversation we'll get on at another point. I think we've been correlating everything pretty good right here, right now, especially with the new setup. Switch one more time and we're going to get on and let y'all start y'all day, man. Where that? Free agency crazy. The other day, free agency trades, all that's been crazy in the NBA. The other day I came on after the Father's Day edition and I spoke on how I became a Miami Heat fan, how I became a Tampa Bay fan, how I became a Miami Hurricane fan. And I spoke on Tim Hardaway being in Miami. I spoke on the Boys and Girls Club taking us from the Port St. Lucie Boys and Girls Club to the Miami Heat Arena and me meeting Tim Hardaway. And when I met Tim Hardaway that day, met Tim Hardaway that day, there was a kid there just crying in the facility at the Heat Stadium, just crying like a baby because I don't know what he wanted, if he didn't want to be there or what. But it was Tim Hardaway Jr. Lo and behold, I wake up yesterday, guess what happened? The Heat had signed Tim Hardaway Jr. to our roster. Hey, it's a pleasure to have you on the squad that your dad put down for so long. And I actually became a fan through your dad. So to see you on the roster right now, it's beautiful, man. And Tim was hooping for the Mavs this year, man. Like, Tim was doing his thing, bro. Like, I'm watching this man pop threes like his dad. I'm watching this man play defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. I like that move big time. Now we just got to figure out these other two pieces that we're going to bring in. We just got to talking about LeBron. I would love for LeBron to come to the Heat, especially in this situation that it is, because he's a free agent right now. We can shoot him the bag or whatever he want, and we ain't got to give up no players, no nothing. And like I told them at the shop, you got to understand, man, I watched LeBron have a 40-point game this year, multiple 30-point games this year, and he was averaging over 21 points. Put that on the court with the Heat, with Giannis now, Bam Adebayo. I don't give a dang on how old he is. He's still producing. He still can produce, and I think that it'd be a high level. He was in Miami for 4 years, and he played for the finals for 4 years. He won 2 of them, back to back at that. So that's where I'm at with it, man. Sooner than later, I'm gonna come on here and do a roster breakdown for the U. We're getting closer and closer to football. Today is July 1st. If you're in the state of Florida, there's new rules that has just taken place at 12 o'clock this morning. all that Wild West transfer is dead. Now we got 26 days until the official day of fall practice for high school. I'm waiting on it, counting down to it. If you haven't been to a summer workout, and I'm talking to any school, let me make this clear too. when I'm on this podcast and you hear me saying, oh, these kids ain't ready, oh, these kids ain't doing X, Y, and Z, I'm not just talking about my kids at Westwood. Half the time, I ain't even talking about my kids at Westwood. I'm talking about the collective whole, bro. From Chipotle, Florida, Tallahassee, Quincy, yeah, all of that there, all the way down to the Key West. From out west of Bradenton and Tampa, all the way over there to the coast, to Orlando, Dr. Phillips and them. Like, bro, I'm not just directing. I don't get on here and throw subliminal shots at nobody. I'm gonna speak on it how I speak on it. So, yeah. We're not talking about just the kids at Westwood not being prepared. We're not just talking about the kids at Westwood not working out and all that stuff there. No, it's a collective. Man, let me tell you something. Last year we went down to Miramar, Miami, capital of football, if you ask me. I'm gonna say it. Florida is the capital of football, and Miami is the Mecca, period. We go down there to the Mecca, in which we pulled off a beautiful win down there too. Y'all should look up y'all should look that game up. Fort Pierce Westwood versus Miramar. Last season for the playoffs run. You should go and look that game up. It was some very, very juicy plays being made. My little cousin had an interception. Ford went crazy. J4 went crazy. The Wood, Big Greg went crazy. The Wood went crazy, man. And we started off very slow. I think we was down 21, if I ain't mistaken. And yes, we won the game. So we went to Miami and made some plays off of that, bro. When we got there, me and Coach Boston was, doing the warm-up thing, getting stuff together, and the coach from Miramar came over chopping it up with us. I was trying to find out, was that the school that Tracy Howard played for, which it wasn't. So the coach was telling me what school he went to, and then he was just talking about the stuff that they dealing with. And I swear this man sounded like he was at the school with us. I swear he sounded just like the coach that we talked to from another school. Matter of fact, talking to Jensen Beach coaches, talking to all these coaches, bro. They all tell you that they're dealing with what they're dealing with because this internet, everybody want to watch highlights and make highlights. No one wants to watch football and play football. Yeah, they want to be highlight reels the whole time instead of the whole ins and outs of football. And recently we was talking with the coaches, and this is why a kid like Malachi Tony is so highlighted. A kid like J.J. Smith is so highlighted because he's doing the little things on the football field. Blocking, running routes full speed, even if the ball going to the right side of the field and you on the left. Understanding angles to the pursuit. It's a lot of things that come within understanding football, period. Do you understand the techniques that a D-line is in? Do you understand the 10s and the 30s that the linebackers are in? Do you understand the depth that safeties sit at and why they're sitting at the set? Do you understand that when you see a cornerback playing 5 yards off and he's sitting and he's trying to push you to the inside, what coverage is he, what is they running? Cover 2. He's helping the inside. And if no threat comes to him, what is he going to do? He's supposed to continue to push deep until he sees something come in. If that running back flare out, if the tight end come out into an out route, if that wide receiver decide to push and sit down on him, boom, 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 turn around for a curl route, a hitch route, a comeback route, he has to get on that. It's the little principles of football that can make you a dynamic football player. It's the knowledge of the game that can turn you into a Caleb Downs. In my opinion, the best defensive player in the draft last year. And yes, I'm saying that over my boy Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain, I'm glad he at Tampa. I'm going to a couple games this year for it. But Caleb Downs' knowledge of the game from safety, man, is it's freaking ridiculous, bro. Ain't too many freshmen started in the secondary for Nick Saban at Alabama when Alabama was Alabama. I ain't talking about the new Alabama that ain't gonna be worth nothing. I'm talking about the old Alabama where you just really didn't want to play them because every position group that they had 4 or 5 NFL players in it. Do your homework, you'll find out. The coffee tasting real good. Got that Fosachi on y'all right today. New setup, all of that, man. What I didn't do today is what I normally do. Shout out to hair products, Kingdom Hair Products, man. It's beautiful the way that y'all been tapping in with us. It's beautiful the way that y'all been lighting us up on social media, lighting us up on the internet, ordering and everything, man. I truly thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. This is definitely something that we started as a family 6 years ago, 2020, during COVID time, and it's just been evolving ever since. Shout out to my wife. We always masterminding together, putting our heads together to do the work, studying what's next with no what you talking about, guidance, no mentorship going on into this here. What we doing is mentoring ourselves through God. God leads our steps. He tells us what we need to be studying and going to see what we need to be doing, and we listen. And therefore, we've been operating the business over 6 years now. So I'm truly thankful for everything that's been going on. I'm thankful for the guys and the ladies who watch the podcast. I love the feedback, man. The feedback is so beautiful. Um, like I said, I spoke on some earlier. I love the comments that's coming in. I'm learning how to respond to comments or not respond. I'm learning how to be more of I'm gonna say a journalist, because that's what we're doing right now, man. I ain't just on here talking, trying to give y'all content. I'm not a content creator, because I'm not just gonna make something up to get on this internet. If there's something for me to talk about and put my expertise to, that's what I will do. If there's something for me to put my opinion on, I will study it a good amount, as much as I can possibly, and then I will come on here and give y'all my opinion. When we talking about these young fellas coming from young men to grown men, that's my passion, because I'm one of them I'm one of them men who was a kid that just didn't know nothing, man. I thought I knew a lot. I thought I knew, I thought I knew the rhythm of life when I was younger. Um, I ain't saying I was just walking like a dodo. Like, literally, I thought I knew what I was doing. So when you talk to me, as confident as I am today, I was confident then and talking to you like, oh yeah, but we finna go do this. We're gonna hit this lick. Then we're gonna get $1 million from this right here. We're gonna do this here. Yeah, I was confident into just nonsense. So that's why I like to talk to these kids, because once real life hit, sometimes there's no going backwards, man. I tell y'all about my little cousin who hasn't made it home yet. He was arrested at 15, and he been in there since 15, bro. He 30-something years old right now. So he officially done more time in prison than he done from birth on earth. So that's a sad situation, and there's a lot of us like that. It's a lot of people got family members in those same situations. There's a lot of young men that's walking themselves into. I was talking to my son the other day, and I told him, I said, the craziest thing is you can be 18 years old. You can turn 18 years old, first year being legal of your own. And just because you don't know how to answer interview questions, people can change your life. People give you 30, 40 years because you answered the question wrong, and you probably didn't have nothing to do with that. You probably did have something to do with it, but it wasn't on no level of catching 30, 40 years at 18, when that's double the lifespan that you've been on earth. I don't think an 18-year-old should be able to get 40 years unless it's something dealing with murder or rape or something like that there, because anything other than that, that's a lesson learned. You got to learn a lesson. To give a person more time than they've been on earth, it's freaking wild, bro. But hey, them the things that go through my mind sometimes, and that's why I'm on here passionately talking to these young men, trying to help save some of them from going to be a slave, a documented slave at that. Every morning waking up, showing your wristband, repeating your DC numbers every day, 3, 4 times a day, making sure that you is in this same spot, not going nowhere, working for the little of nothing, being told what to do, when to do, how to do, all of that type of stuff, man. You might well stay on the street and make your own rules, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell these kids. And that's why I have a passion to do that there, because these kids got the opportunity to take everything that we're giving them and telling them and evolve it to the next level and go on and live a life that we can only fathom. It's just like the streamers today. Their parents probably told them, you need to learn how to use this internet. They did. They really did. So shout out to everybody who, you know what I'm saying, checking it out, showing the love, just like I said earlier. Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, YouTube Podcast, YouTube Shorts. Hey, that's where I be getting them views at, bro. Y'all be, I know y'all short-minded, so I'm hoping that they got some good clips. Riverside, make sure y'all clip up all the good segments that I just put on here, because we dropping them on YouTube Shorts. Yeah, that's why I've been getting them crazy comments from YouTube Shorts. I can tell some of y'all be frustrated when y'all comment too, because it's like, you ain't necessarily responding to what I said in the clip. You like responding to what's going on in your life, but adding in what I said in the clip. So I ain't knocking you, bro. Hopefully you find some peace somewhere. Hopefully you find a little happiness to put a smile on your face, so you can put a smile on somebody else's face, and we can make the world a better place. Just like we say on Sip This Coffee every time we get on here, man. This week, I gave y'all 3 episodes. This week, I gave y'all 3 episodes, bro. So from Father's Day to now, we've dropped 3 episodes. We here now. That's old news. Got a couple Porsche trucks, couple old schools. I put this Versace on and spell it Fosace. Huh? Yes, sir. Hey, man, y'all make sure y'all get out there and do what you're supposed to be doing for the people that you're supposed to be doing it for. Young men, make sure you train. If you play high school football, you better do 100 push-ups a day, 100 squats at bare minimum. If your coach got to be the person that help you work out 24/7, you might need to leave football alone, because there's a jit somewhere training, probably squatting 500 pounds, 400 pounds off the bench, and doing every other workout to make sure that they don't get injured this season so they can knock your top off. He training to knock your top off. So if you ain't training to make sure your top don't get knocked off, or you the one knocking tops off, stay off that football field, baby. That's a gladiator sport. You heard me? And people out there got war on their mind. And if you ain't got that warrior mindset, somebody gonna end up on the highlight tape. Yep. It's been a blessing. I really don't even want to leave right now. This is the first time I've done a segment almost an hour long. I love the setup. I love the setup. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be back. We'll be dropping some gems on y'all sooner than later, man. Peace and blessings to everybody. And what I say, 1 finger, 2 finger, peace.